Doing a job kind of close to home. It's technically our second job of the year. I'm excited, but I'm cautiously excited. And here's why I'm cautiously excited. Hey, Mr. Hanson, what do you think?
On this job site, we didn't have the option of putting biofalls in because we didn't have anywhere to put a berm to support it. You guys ready to see some big rocks? Let's do this.
I'll show you what that looks like. I'm kind of excited. I'm just about to pull out of my driveway. Doing a job kind of close to home. It's technically our second job of the year. It's with another contractor, Rolling Landscape. Rolling Landscape brings us in on a lot of their water features. I don't know why. No, actually I do. It's really simple. It's you stick to what you know best. He is an incredible hardscape landscape designer, and every now and then some of his customers want a water feature, and he says, hey, why not bring in the guys that know water features the best? So he calls up Aquascape Construction. We come out and we put it in for him. I'm excited, but I'm cautiously excited, and here's why I'm cautiously excited. It rained quite a bit last night, and one of the main reasons we usually don't build in April in the Chicagoland area is because it's just too darn wet. It's a perfect time of year though to do spring maintenance, do all these clean outs, drain the pond, power wash them down. It doesn't matter if it rains or not because we can get wet and still have a good time with it. But we'll see. I'm about to go meet Chris and the guys over there. We'll see what the site looks like, and hopefully we can kind of muscle through it and get something done. I'll show you what that looks like. Come with me. All right, we are here. I see Chris walking to the back. It's obviously a new construction home. One of the things is we've got to get our stone in here before the new driveway comes in 2 days. If we wait 2 more days, this concrete will be here and you can't drive on that concrete for quite some time. So it would really limit our access to getting back here. So we want to try to take advantage of this rough grade here. Looks like Chris and the team has already put an enormous amount of plywood back. We also want to try to keep dirt and everything as we're going back and forth from here to here off of their new base material. So we get these machines back here, keep that base material clean. Pretty muddy. We'll see what we can do. Hey, Mr. Hanson, what do you think? Is it a go get 'em day or we'll try?
It's always a go get 'em day.
Good for you.
Until the first hiccup, and then it'll be we'll try.
All right, let's take a look at that design and see if you understand what the hell I put down.
Your blue clouds are getting better, I gotta tell you.
Oh, the coloring?
Yeah.
Thanks.
It's weird me to compliment you on your
nice hat.
skills. Like that?
Aquascape wear is kicking it this year, huh?
That's right, man. So this is what you gave me.
Yeah, you got it.
No,
Right.
it's perfect.
Come on, I'll go show you.
It makes sense.
Break.
All right, guys, so we've got the bog excavated. We've got our liner fabric in. We've got our snorkel centipede in right there. We're gonna throw some aqua blocks over the top of that, and then we're gonna throw our various sizes of substrate, or the rock and gravel that's gonna go over the top, and that's gonna be the heart of the wetland filter. So we've got the mechanical components going in, and then we've got the heart and soul of it, meaning the rock and gravel, for that beneficial bacteria to colonize on and really filter this pond. Normally for an 11 by 16 foot pond, our 6,000 biofalls is more than enough to filter it. However, on this job site, we didn't have the option of putting biofalls in because we didn't have anywhere to put a berm to support it. So we're gonna do an upper pooling area right here, right? And that's gonna be our wetland filter. So it'll be kind of a deep bog, but that's what we're working with today. So it's gonna be way over super filtered, but that's cool, man. Totally cool. It's just another way to biologically filter our pond is a constructed wetland. So that's what we're doing on this project. Sounds like the stone just got here. Let's go check this out. So Illinois brick coming through again. Here's what we're working with. That's awesome. Look at the size of some of these pieces. Killer. You guys ready to see some big rocks? Let's do this. right, so we're at the start of day 2. We are going to hammer out this bog this morning. Right, Udi? Where are you? I'm still getting the hang of this pointing backwards thing. There he is. So Udi's gonna be the driver today. We got Emmanuel and myself. So it's a 3-man team. We're a little short-handed. We're gonna make some killer progress today. Get this bog done, get the waterfall done, get the pond dug. We are going to rock today. So right now what we're trying to determine is the elevation of the lower kind of lawn space over here. There's going to be a fire pit. The elevation, finished elevation, according to the landscaper, is going to be 15 inches below the top of this wall. So right now the bottom of our stick, which is set at 15 inches below the top of that wall, is about 18 inches above grade, existing grade back here. So it's going to make rocking the pond a little interesting. We might just dig a really shallow bottom shelf area and then build out from there, kind of like what we do at the Flower and Garden Show. So it's just super important to have the transit as a tool. Like otherwise we would have no idea, right? We'd be out here shooting in the dark, trying to figure out elevations. So that's one of the most important tools in your toolbox. You have to really understand how it works, how to use it, because it'll save your butt out here, especially on a job like this. So wish us luck. Hopefully we don't screw anything up. I'm sure we won't, but we're good. All right, folks, day 2 is now a wrap. It is Good Friday, and it was a good Friday. It was a great Friday, right, Udi? Yep. It was a great Friday. So we got a lot of progress done today. I would say we have the pond probably 90% rocked. Behind me, you're looking at the waterfall that's going to fall into the pond.
Hey everybody, Nick from Aquascape. Hey, we are in not the heat of cleanout season right now, but we're getting close and we got a couple big cleanouts going on. And I kind of want to give you guys a quick walkthrough of how we do our cleanouts, a quick process, simplified, but kind of give you an idea of what we got going on. So luckily today, we just have this little small pond here. Shouldn't take us too long, maybe an hour, hour and a half. And then for the rest of the backyard, might take us a little bit longer, but the process is still the same. So some of you guys might remember this backyard. It was a project we did last year. Greg made a video, it's on YouTube. I think it's called Backyard Fit for a Wedding. So if you want kind of an overview of the project itself, it's nuts. So I would suggest checking that out on YouTube. But with this project being as big as it is, the cleanup process is still the same. So kind of what we do is we get out to the job site. We have one guy get out of the truck, go knock on the door, you know, let the people know we're here, kind of give them a brief overview of what we're going to be doing. And then while one guy's doing that, the other guy is taking all the tubs out of the truck, getting the power washer ready, getting everything to the backyard. First thing we want to do is we want to get pumps in the pond, get that water draining in the holding tanks. The reason we do that is we can use a lot of that water to rinse down at a much higher flow rate than if we were to just use garden hoses. So it's great for a pre-rinse before we power wash to get all that nasty leaf debris and algae and stuff washed down into a central spot. So once we get that water kind of pumping out, we'll have another guy go and start picking out debris, any large debris that we can't really get out with a pump or anything like that. You can kind of see Billy's working on that now, picking up all this nice leaves and garbage and stuff. Roy's kind of going through at the same time. Once we get to a point where we can kind of pull one guy off to start power washing, we'll do that. So after all this leaf debris is kind of picked up, we'll give it a quick pre-rinse with all that water we pulled out earlier, and then we'll go ahead and start power washing. Once we got a guy power washing, we'll have another guy with a hose and he'll start rinsing down behind the guy with the power washer. That's where these tanks again come in handy, because instead of using that garden hose, we can use the high pressure of the pumps that we're using to suck all the water out. So after that, we'll kind of do a final rinse, make sure all the pumps are working, get everything hooked up, the auto dose, the IN gens, any products like that. And while this is all one feature down here, this is all one feature up here too. So we got 2 big features to do today. Process is still the same, it's just gonna take us a little bit longer. If you guys have any questions about how we do things, anything we use for cleanouts, give me a shout, give any of the guys a shout, or leave a comment below. Thanks guys, have a good one.
All right, you guys ready to see some stone? Let's do this. Well, here you go. Stone's getting here. All right, so here comes the stone. This is the fun stuff. You guys ready to see some big rocks? let's do this.